So this is Snake Way? Well, I better get started.
Snake Way definitely isn't as open as most of the 3D platforming segments, but I think it's a lot easier to see some of the shortcuts because of that. You know, because Snake Way is so winding. Lots of places where you can just jump over an entire coil on the snake and use your boost to get further. There are still coins we can grab to increase our score and get us more money to buy things from the Warriors Room. Yeah, I finally remembered what the store was called. It's not a good idea to dodge left and right a whole lot to move faster, because even though that does move you faster, on this specific stage it's likely to get you to fall off. And you don't lose that much time by falling, but it does set you back on the map a bit.
You're halfway there, but there's a long way to go.
I imagine it would be pretty hard, even if people fell off a whole lot, to actually lose this one. Most of the time if you're falling off, though, it's because you're trying to use shortcuts like this, which I succeeded at this time. It doesn't take too long to get a good feel for exactly how far the dash goes. So I like to use it whenever possible. Well, whenever it would make sense to use it. Using it senselessly, after all, is a good way to run out of your energy meter, and then you can't dash anymore and just have to run through the entire stage like a schmuck. You might notice that in spite of the linearity of this stage, there are some platforms off to the side, and I'm ignoring most of them, but we are going to go for at least one of them toward the end. Because it has a much better coin than the regular ones. Yeah, over there, see, 2 golden coins. That's a lot of money.
No way.
That could have gone better, but we still have plenty of time because the end of the stage is right over there. And now we just have to hop back onto the snake without falling down. Which is surprisingly easier. I wonder how easy it would be to fool someone into thinking that there's a Dragon Ball Z platformer just using screenshots and video from these sections.
Okay, I made it! Okay, just watch! I'll catch him before you know it!
Looks like we have to catch Bubbles in another 3D platforming segment. But before we actually go and catch Bubbles, I want to collect all the coins that are lying around. We do again get money based on how many things we collect, so this is a good idea. We're going to be using that money very shortly when we get into the fights with Napa and Vegeta. Now, if you're very lucky in one of these 3D platforming segments, you might spot a Dragon Ball, like this one over here. Ta-da! Now we're going to go after Bubbles. Bubbles drops a whole ton of banana peels behind him, and if we slip on those, we lose some of our stamina, which makes us incapable of dashing as much. It doesn't kill us, thankfully. We have to press the triangle button to try and grab Bubbles, and our tackle's a little bit slow. We can't tackle immediately after we dash either, so that's a no-go. The best times to try and tackle Bubbles are when he switches directions or when he's headed toward you instead of away from you. That second one doesn't happen very frequently, but it does happen. We can also tackle immediately after we quick slide left or right, but it's also possible to easily quick slide into the bananas like that, so we need to be careful and not overuse it.
Got him! Okay, I managed to catch him! I'm ready as I can be. This must be my final test. Ready? Go!
This one's pretty easy in that you can't actually fail. Bricks will fly across the screen, and you have to aim at them and fire at them with your Ki Blast. You only have 7 Ki Blasts to use, so wasting them is not advisable. But even if you miss a whole ton, you still won't lose the minigame.
Splendid! Just as I thought! I did it!
So we have to defeat Yamcha only using Ki Blasts, which we can just spam by pressing circle, or by using special attacks, which we use with circle and a direction. In this case it will be circle and forward for the Kamehameha. If we use melee attacks at all during this challenge, we lose, which actually makes it kind of challenging. Granted, Yamcha is not as smart as many of the other characters we will be fighting, but he does know how to block and attack back. Seeing as how he can use melee attacks, that instantly puts him at an advantage. Thankfully for us, the Ki Blasts actually deal decent damage, otherwise this would be frustrating instead of just kinda challenging. But as it stands, it's definitely doable, and it's an okay introduction to Ki Blasts. It doesn't really introduce you to their main utility, which is getting enemies away from you when they decide to dash at you all the time, because it's a good way to interrupt them when they just start zipping around the screen. The special attacks are on the far opposite end of the spectrum, though. They are incredibly slow, easy to see coming, and you have to catch your opponent really off guard if you want to hit them with one. When they're stunned like Yamcha is right now would be the ideal time. Enemies become stunned after they take enough damage. You see that orange bar below our profiles? That's how much damage we can take before we get stunned and have to twirl the control stick to break out. It's really bad when that happens. I took the liberty of skipping straight to the next training mission because there are a couple of more. In this one, we're just supposed to use dashing attacks. We can either use them to knock the opponent away really quickly or stun them for a long period of time if we use a heavy one instead. And for this next one, we're just supposed to use the pursuit attack while we're in aura burning mode. The game doesn't really tell us how useful aura burning is during this training mission, so if you don't figure it out for yourself, you might be kinda lost. But yes, we can still use pursuit attacks while we're in aura burning mode, and it doesn't take up any extra ki because our ki is already draining automatically. So that's a positive.
Ready? Fight!
This training mission is pretty simple. We just have to transform and then, well, actually beat Piccolo. Now, we do have the Kaioken transformation, even though you didn't see us obtain it, and that's par for the course as far as this game is concerned, so don't expect to be told an accurate representation of the Dragon Ball story while playing this game. As I already expressed in the first video, it's more of a celebration of Budokai than a celebration of Dragon Ball. Now that we have transformed, we start to deal more damage, and as far as I can tell, that's about it. That seems to be the only benefit to transforming, is that we deal more damage. But that's still a welcome addition. Also, our Ki Blasts get bigger, but the size of your Ki Blast doesn't really matter in a game like this, because either the enemy is going to dodge your Ki Blast or they aren't. How large it is isn't very important to the gameplay, if at all. Now, I am being rather lazy in this fight with Piccolo, which is unfortunate because I'm getting my ass kicked, but you can't really afford to be this lazy with the actual fights. This game does have a pretty absurd difficulty curve that I imagine turned a lot of people away from it. Also, yes, as you're seeing right here, we can turn on aura burning even while we are transformed. And that just kind of makes us an absolute monster. As you're seeing here, we have no trouble taking out Piccolo now. He doesn't even get a chance to fight back. Now, the button commands for item usage and taunting are exactly the same, so if you try to taunt while you have an item, you'll use that item immediately. Items can do a whole bunch of useful stuff. The item we used with Yamcha refilled our health and our ki meter, which means we can use aura burning for quite a while before we run out. We're also going to taunt the 3 required times in order to fill up our quota. Even after we're done taunting and using our item, we still have to actually beat Tien. Which seems like a bit of an unnecessary addition, since this is just about learning how to use the items. I am also very confused why we're playing as Tien for this one instead of Goku like all of the other training missions. But maybe there's something behind this that I'm just not getting, like a reference or something. Either way, this is the last training mission before we can finally go and fight Napa.
You creep!
While normally from here we'd just go ahead and fight Napa, instead we're going to exit Dragon Mission and go into the Warriors room in the main menu so we can buy some stuff. Here we are. We can use the shop to buy all kinds of things, skills, extra abilities, blah blah blah. What we're mostly interested in is increasing our defense, our attack, and getting something to heal ourselves with in the middle of a fight. The item we're buying right now is Fighter's Body, which we can use to increase our health whenever we equip it. And we can buy new versions of the same item that are superior and it will replace the old version. For example, we just bought the second version of Fighter's Body, and this second version will increase our health more, and it completely replaces the original. Over here to the right, we're buying items that we can use to heal ourselves during battle. And lastly, we're going to buy something so we can equip more items. New items will become unlocked the further we get into Dragon Mission, so we bought pretty much everything we want right now. It is finally time to fight Napa, and as soon as the fight starts, we're going to knock him over, and then start punching him as soon as he stands back up. This won't always work, eventually enemies will learn better. But we can get a few cheap hits in before he realizes what we're doing and throws us away. You might notice his health isn't draining fast or anything like that, and yeah, the fights in this game do tend to take a while. Take a while by fighting game standards, perhaps, but we only have to win the one round. I decided to weather the storm and wait for his aura burning to run out because he didn't have that much left, because he used that throw that puts us quite a bit of distance from each other. And now we're just going back to abusing our basic attacks as soon as he stands up. Seems to be working again. He did use a heavy attack to push us off his ass, but unfortunately that left him open to a Kamehameha, and it just so happened to knock him into the scenery, which itself deals a ton of extra damage, so I don't think he's going to be winning this one. But who knows, these things turn around when you least expect them. You might notice that sometimes Napa just buffs his chest out and is able to completely block our Kamehameha. This is done with a special block that you can perform by pressing L1 and X at the same time. It does drain your ki really fast though, so you either have to use it for just a split second, or be prepared to lose a lot of ki trying to evade special attacks. And during this fight, Napa is incredibly keen on spamming it. It doesn't get him very far, because it's not like you can turn it into a counterattack of any sort, unlike the teleportation move. Like that. And now Napa is stunned, so we can beat the shit out of him even harder. Our aura burning ran out, but we're still in Kaioken mode, so I think we've got this handled. And we've gone back to spamming our basic attacks when he stands up. He gets tired of getting knocked around and turns on aura burning, but he does it right as we're about to use a heavy attack, which is unfortunate for him. You know, Napa really likes that special block. I'm not sure why he favors it so much. Maybe that's just part of his AI. He chose to use aura burning at a really bad time this time as well, so ours way outlasted his. His hesitation during this bit is also a little bit hilarious. I'm not sure why he took so long to make up his mind. He kept charging and then stopping over and over. And he was about to use an ultimate attack on us, which, damn, that would have hurt, but we still would have won. We just have too many extra health bars. Hey, we got stunned, which means we lost our special transformation. But with only one hit worth of damage left, I think Napa's done.
Vegeta, help me. What are you doing? I have no use for a saying you can't fight. Vegeta! You should be pleased. It's not often that a low-class warrior like you gets to play with an elite like me.
Well, you know, even a low-class warrior can exceed an elite with enough hard work.
There are things hard work alone can't overcome. Let me show you. Ready?
I'm not sure what Vegeta thought was going to happen when he kept rubbing his face up against us like that. By the way, if you thought Nappa's AI was easy to spam when it stood up, look at Vegeta here. Eventually he learns his lesson, but it takes a few tries. There he goes. Now we both turn on Aura Burning, and I realize the only way to seriously hurt Vegeta while he has Aura Burning turned on is with the heavy attack or with a special attack. But Vegeta just plays it smarter than we did. Even though his runs out first, we only get one combo in on him. But at least we do get that one combo. You may notice Vegeta has significantly more health bars than we do, or at least he did. We've gone back to stun locking him as soon as he stands back up, but he recovered much quicker this time than last time. Sometimes you can do that to him the whole match, but sometimes he figures it out really quickly. It just depends. We're still definitely in the lead though. We've hit him way more times than he's hit us, which is why our health bars are even instead of him having a whole extra. The enemies in this game almost always start out with more health bars than you do. That's just how it goes. We stunned Vegeta just a moment ago, but the blows we were trading were relatively close, even if we were winning, so he's gonna stun us here, in just a second. Fortunately for us, he was too stupid to do much with it because he forgot his arms were so tiny. We did use Aura Burning at a very inopportune moment, but Vegeta's combo also gave us a chance to recover because of the way he spaced it out, so it all pans out. He also is going on the defensive a lot right here, but now that he's further away, we're probably going to have to start spamming Ki Blasts. We don't want to just charge in if our attack isn't actually close enough to reach him. But hey, if he wants to walk into our fist, that's perfectly okay. He also tried to use one of his special attacks on us twice, but both times we just ran our heads into each other. This is looking significantly better because we just stunned him again, but he's nowhere near stunning us, so I think we've got this, and we didn't even have to use a healing item. However, in my desperation to make this Aura Burning count, we get a Gallic Gun in the face, so we're going to use an item just to be safe. Yeah, it really shouldn't have been necessary, but, you know, I don't want to lose just because he pulled out an ultimate attack at the last second.
Darn it! How could this happen?
This is for all the people you killed! Stop! Krillin! Please, just let him go. I know it might be a mistake. Please. You can't! And if he ever comes back, then I'll beat him. I promise. Let me do it! By myself!
You pathetic fools! Next time there will be no miracles!
Goku, I sure hope you're right about this. At least we'll be ready next time.
Yeah, you bet.